pipe tobacco, Gill's Best pipe tobacco, Seno cigarettes, and Encore cigarettes. Members of the complete line of tobacco products made by United States Tobacco Company present Martin Kane, Private Eye, starring Lloyd Nolan.
From Tampico, Mexico to the Florida Keys lie 1,000 miles of fish-infested waters, the paradise of big game fishing. Home of the scrappy sailfish, the tackle-busting tarpon, and the rhinoceros of the sea, the giant blue marlin. But while man and fish thrash up the azure waters, another citizen of the Gulf spends his days quietly in the cool depths, 100 fathoms down. His name, genus Margaritifera, oyster to you and me. The oyster whose painstaking toil produces the most valuable gem of the sea, the black pearl.
Just look at the perfect skin on these pearls, Ashley. The fine orient, the delicate texture, and no flaws, no specks under the surface. And the color, clear, translucent.
Uncle Angus, put those pearls away. You've taken them out after every meal.
And what's wrong with that? Actually, you'll never see 6 black pearls so perfectly matched anywhere in the world.
So you've told us, Angus.
Yes, and I'll tell you again if I've a mind to. I'll tell you again.
I don't mind seeing them again, my dear. They are quite beautiful.
And they're worth $100,000. Right, Larson?
Excuse me. I got work topside.
Angus, when are you going to get rid of that man? I can't abide a sullen person.
Dan Larson's the best mate in these waters. He'll stay aboard as long as he tends his duties.
And just exactly what do his duties include, Angus?
It was a congenial little group aboard the Grasshopper. The owner and skipper, millionaire yachtsman Angus Redfield. A lumpy little character who collected black pearls like a schoolboy with a passion for agates. Nan, his niece, who couldn't be bothered with such baubles, but who was very much bothered by the rugged Mr. Dan Larson. Her aunt, Cecile Ashley, as lovable as a scorpion. A caustic queen with a bank account that was slowly dying of malnutrition. And her husband, Chester Ashley, whose vocabulary consisted of exactly 2 phrases, yes, my dear, and no, my dear. These were the characters I was to meet later, exactly 12 hours after the arrival of the letter.
Look what the postman brought. $500. Here, Mr. Kane, enclosed is $500 cash. Your help is needed desperately. Please follow instructions to the letter. Phone long distance to the yacht basin at Marathon in the Florida Keys.
Ask for Captain Angus Redfield aboard the Grasshopper. Tell him you are a magazine writer, that you want to write an article about his fabulous black pearls. You will be invited to join Caribbean Cruise. Please destroy this letter and under no circumstances reveal your true identity until I have contacted you aboard this vessel. You will receive another $1,000 when your job is done. No signature. Say, who do you think you're kidding, Kane?
That's grammar school stuff.
Now, listen, so help me, fellas. This came in the morning mail.
With $500 inside, huh?
Cash money.
Let's see that cash money, Mr. Sleuth.
No, I already invested most of it. Here, look.
Oh, yeah? A receipt for $380. Chartered seaplane flight to Marathon, Florida.
Mm-hmm. And I leave in exactly a half an hour.
You mean to say that you actually phoned this Redfield and he invited you on a cruise?
That is right. You convinced, men? Huh? Hey, where'd you get the camera?
Oh, just one.
Yeah, that's one of those that develops the picture inside, Marty. You know, you press the shutter, wait a minute.
And out comes the finished picture.
Yeah, sure. I've heard of them. Hey, look, Hap, do you mind if I take this on my trip with me?
Oh, I insist you take it, Martin, because I expect you to bring back photographs of that yacht and the Black Pearl.
Just to show you're not sneaking off on a fishing trip.
Okay, men. Photographs you will have. Take care of everything.
So long.
Bye.
Excuse me, Lieutenant.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Can I help you?
Do you have Sano cigarettes?
Why, certainly, madam. Sano cigarettes, really great cigarettes with less than 1% nicotine.
Oh, I know. My doctor told me about them. Are they really good?
Doubly so. Because you not only enjoy good natural tobacco flavor, but you also get less than 1% nicotine in every Sano cigarette you smoke.
So many of my friends started smoking them. I thought they must be pretty good.
I can believe that because so many of my regular customers are switching to Sano cigarettes. And they find them just as enjoyable as they are practical.
I guess I'd better have a carton.
Oh, here you are. Can't smoke too many Sano cigarettes, you know, out of 5. Here's a change. Thank you very much, and please come in again.
Oh, I'll be back for more. I'm sure I'll like them.
You bet. Good night.
Good night.
The trip to the Florida Keys was smooth and uneventful. I snapped a few cloud formations to get acquainted with Hap's camera, and then catnapped the rest of the way. It was about midnight when I boarded the Grasshopper.
Hello there. Well, you must be that writer person, Mr.
Martin Kane.
Yes, of course. How stupid of me. Angus, that is Mr. Redfield, told me at dinner that you were coming.
Oh.
I'm Cecile Ashley, and this is Mr. Ashley.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Ashley?
Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you.
I'm afraid that Mr. Redfield has retired, Mr. Kane.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. Larson. Mr. Kane, this is the ship's mate, Mr. Larson.
Hello, Mr. Larson. The captain gave me a message for you. Said you were to join him for breakfast in his cabin. On the nose at 8. You're to bunk in the forward cabin. Number 4, mister.
Well, thank you, sailor.
Oh, you must excuse his lack of manners, Mr. Kane. I'm told that the sea is not a very gracious way of life. And its offspring, well, they're often sullen and sometimes treacherous. Oh, I'm boring you with my amateur philosophy.
No, no.
Come on now, I'll show you to your cabin.
Thank you.
Next morning, I awoke to find the Grasshopper cutting neatly through the bluest water I'd ever seen. The surface was alive with playful porpoises. The air had the feel of warm silk. I was just in the mood for a long, relaxing Caribbean cruise.
$15 on a dead man's ship. And a bottle of rum. Up. Captain Redfield? Captain Redfield?
What?
From the appearance of the captain, I was several hours too late to keep our breakfast appointment. There was a nasty laceration near the base of the skull, a tender spot, but not necessarily a vital one. Behind the body was a very curious item, a CO2 fire extinguisher. Somehow the scene looked a little strange. Could be the old man fell and hit his head. But how did he get inside the closet? How did the door get closed? Decided to get the scene on record, if only to convince Hap and the lieutenant that I actually was on a case. If the light wasn't too good, I'd have to allow plenty of time for this exposure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. what the...
Keep your hands high, unless you want to get a skyrocket through your stomach.
Listen, put that thing down, will you, cutie?
This is Nan. I'm in my uncle's cabin. I need help.
What's that, your local SOS system?
In a moment, everyone on the ship will be here.
Oh, an old-fashioned party line, huh?
Why did you do it, Mr. Kane?
Do what?
Why did you kill him?
Oh,
For the
don't
pearls?
be silly. I just came in here and I found him lying like that.
Nan, what happened?
Oh, Angus!
What's the matter, Miss Redfield?
Speak for yourself.
Looks like he's been dead for several hours, Larson. You see, I came in here and
Keep your
found...
hands high.
What'd you hit him with, mister?
I didn't hit him. I found him just like that.
Where'd you get this?
I caught the guest red-handed robbing the body.
Now, listen, I just told
Shut
you...
up, turn around, put your hands up.
Look, if you're looking for the pearls, you got the wrong oyster.
What do you call these? Gumdrops?
Well, holy Hannah,
Hello! Mr. Larson! Now, that wasn't necessary. Keep out of this, Aunt Cecile. Dan knows what he's doing. But this is horrible. Angus dead, and now this violence.
My dear, you mustn't upset yourself.
You keep quiet. I'll upset myself if I please.
Hey. Slubber ain't no writer. He's one of them private detectives.
A private detective?
Yeah.
Well, Angus said that he was a writer. I don't understand.
It ain't hard to understand, Mrs. Ashley. This bird poses a writer so he can get his hands on these pearls. Pretty slippery bunch, these private eyes.
But how did Mr. Kane know about the pearls in the first place?
Everyone in the country knew about the pearls. Uncle Angus thought of that. Silly old fool.
Oh, please, Nan, he's dead.
I don't see how that changes the truth. Do you, Aunt Cecile?
Well, really, Nan.
Later, a single word stabbed through my fog-bound brain. The word was framed. If ever a guy was framed, neat and pretty, it was me.
Hey, come on, open up. Larson, Ashley, somebody open this thing up.
There's the bridge. Larson speaking.
Listen, this is Martin Kane. What's the idea of locking me up down here?
We ain't got no brig on this vessel, mister. Or you'd be in it. I'm turning you over to the police in Panama.
Panama?
Yeah, Panama. That's our next port of call. I understand the rap for murder is 50 years. 50 years of breaking your back on a jungle road gang.
Now, wait a minute, Larson. You gotta listen to my story.
Save it for the cops in Panama. In the meantime, if you get any ideas about breaking out of your cabin, mister, I'll be waiting to blast your head off.
Brother, what a spot. Aye. Yeah, who's it?
How are you feeling, Mr. Kane?
Rotten, thanks.
I brought you some food.
Now, your solicitude is touching, very touching.
You don't look like the criminal type, Mr. Kane. What made you try this crazy
Oh,
stuff?
lady, if I told you my story, you'd break out laughing.
Why don't you try me and see?
Just why are you so curious about me?
Maybe I like you.
Yeah? Or maybe you're wondering whether I'll figure a way out of this frame-up.
Frame up?
Those pearls were planted on my coat. And your uncle was stone cold dead when I found him.
If that's so, why did you pose as a writer? You're a private detective. Or so your credentials say.
Oh. Well, then if you don't know, baby, you're not my client.
What?
Oh, forget it. I was just thinking out loud.
A very dull habit, thinking. Good night.
Say, just before you go, a little warning.
Yes?
I'd advise you to get a good alibi ready before we reach Panama and tell the others to do the same.
An alibi?
That's right, for the murder of your uncle.
Well, that's ridiculous. Why would any of us want to kill Uncle Angus?
Oh, come off it, doll-faced. I'm no hayseed. It's my business to keep myself posted. I read the tabloids every single day. Oh, bullseye, huh?
If you're referring to that article about my uncle leaving his money to that charity, there's nothing to it. It was all a mistake.
Yeah, I wonder. And so will the Panama police. You know, it's very hard to imagine you and your beloved auntie without a yacht between you.
I don't know why I'm listening to you.
Maybe it's because you're fishing to find out how much I know, how much I'll yell to the Panama police.
In view of the evidence against you, I don't think you'll make a very loud noise.
Don't be too sure, sweetheart. I never tell all I know.
You mean you know who killed my uncle?
Well, could be.
You're bluffing.
Oh. If you got the nerve, why don't you try me?
How?
Well, let me wander around your uncle's cabin for a while. Maybe I can dig up the answer to this riddle.
You must take me for a silly child, Mr. Kane. That's a very bad idea.
Well, maybe you're right. I might embarrass somebody very dear to you. Like, for instance, yourself.
I was still puzzling over the photo and trying to figure out why a man would keep a fire extinguisher in his clothes closet. If my ears hadn't deceived me, someone had just unlocked my door. I was being invited to step outside. Was it to collect evidence in the captain's cabin or to collect a skull full of 45 slugs?
The steward says you got the key to number 4.
I returned it to the key locker where it belongs.
When?
Right after I took the detective to supper.
Well, it ain't there now. I just looked.
Well, ask Master Seal or Chester. Anyone on the ship could have taken it.
Maybe you still got it, baby. Maybe you go for this fish.
You're forgetting your place, Mr. Lawson.
You can stow that stuff, chicken. The old boy's dead.
Let go.
Look, you and me can go ahead with our plans. I'm counting on it.
Shut up. Someone will hear.
Who cares? The old boy can't disinherit you now. Who cares, baby?
I care, you blundering idiot.
What's the matter, baby? You ashamed of me? Or is something else in your mind?
It's something very important, Dan. You better come inside. I'll tell you.
Later. I gotta find the key first.
I said this is important.
All right. Make it snappy.
It was now or never. I had to finish all my detecting before Lawson came out of the girl's cabin. At the most, I had a couple of minutes. It took only seconds to spot the evidence I hoped would pin a murder rap on someone aboard the Grasshopper. Now, the light was even worse. This exposure would take even longer than the first one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8. 8 pouches of old briar that Marty owes me for. And I, like a fool, make him a present of my brand new camera. Yes, sir. Not a big.
I want a pipe tobacco that really smokes cool.
A really cool one, huh? Well, I can recommend this one here. Dill's Best Flavor Cut for extra mildness and cool smoking.
What's that flavor cut business?
Well, flavor cut means that every particle of that Dill's Best is cut to just the right size for perfect smoking. Now, look here. Let me show you with this drawing of the average pipe tobacco burning in a pipe bowl.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, you see how uneven that burns? Well, that makes for hot smoke. And that tobacco is very apt to bite your tongue.
So?
Well, compare that with the way Dill's Best burns in the pipe bowl. See how nice and even that burns? All the way down. Consequently, you get a nice, mild, cool smoke all the way.
Well, that makes sense, all right. How much for Dill's Best?
Just 15 cents in its own handy pocket pouch.
Really?
Yeah. Let me show you with this open one here. See how wide that opens? Dip the whole pipe bowl right in there.
Well, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And it folds down, nice and tight. Stay fresh. And fits neatly in your pocket.
Well, that's good enough for me. Here you go.
Thank you very much, and please come in again, eh?
Well, how are you, sucker? Get any pictures from Marty yet?
Are you kidding? He hasn't been gone for 24 hours. He's probably using my brand new camera as ballast in his fishing box. Oh, excuse me, Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Yes. I'd like a pouch of old briar pipe tobacco.
Right you are, sir. For a man who knows his mixtures. Old Briar, the master mixture of rare flavor and aroma.
It's certainly the best one I ever smoked. Here you are.
Out of a half. Is it changed, sir? Thank you very much. Please come in again, huh?
Boy, do I envy that Marty. Vacation in the tropics, big game fishing, sailing on the Caribbean.
And not a worry in the world. Can't you just picture it?
The picture was perfect, just what the prosecuting attorney ordered. If my hunch about that fire extinguisher paid off,
Didn't
No,
you?
I locked the door. I swear it.
Are you trying to double-cross me, baby, after all our plans?
No, Dad, no.
What's going on between you two?
Nothing.
You knew this guy before he came on board, didn't you?
No, no.
What's going on here?
Your cute little niece let that phony detective loose.
Nan, why?
I didn't. I locked the door when I left him.
Stow it, baby. I'll settle his hash. There'll be cool corpses on board when we dock in Panama.
Mr. Larson, that's cold-blooded murder. I won't allow it.
You ain't got nothing to say, Duchess. I'm captain aboard this ship, and I'm responsible for the safety of my passengers.
Mr. Larson's right, my dear. All of our lives are in danger with that murderer loose.
Well, I insist that you don't hurt him. There's been enough violence.
Just leave him to me, Duchess. Just leave him to me.
at that moment I felt like a first cousin to the proverbial sitting duck. Larson was the kind of hunter who'd shoot first and be sorry later. Apparently, he decided to conduct his hunt scientifically. A very bright boy. With the help of the crew, he could flush out a flea in 5 minutes flat.
You must go and lock yourself in your room, and Chester and I will do the same thing.
Please, Aunt Cecile.
Now, do as I say. It isn't safe with that man prowling around here.
Aunt Cecile, unlock this door.
Not until he's safely locked away, and not one moment before.
This door, I'm not a child.
Well, you're my responsibility, young lady. Now, please be quiet.
Kind of a weapon. Anything that might give me an outside chance against Larson and his 45.
You want me to do that, Mr. Kane?
Ashley,
Don't speak, please. Just keep your hands high. Turn around. All right, Cecile, get those pictures.
Oh, very clever, Mr. Kane. Pictorial evidence.
How'd you know I took those?
We watched you through there this morning when you first discovered the body.
We weren't certain you understood the significance of the fire extinguisher, so we unlocked your door tonight.
Oh, and then you watched me take the second picture, huh?
That confirmed our fears. We knew you'd seen through our scheme.
When did you kill him?
Last night, a few minutes after you came aboard.
We wanted those pearls, Mr. Kane. The idea was all mine. The unsigned letter to you, knocking Angus unconscious and placing his body in the closet.
With a CO2 fire extinguisher, huh?
Clever, don't you agree? The carbon dioxide gas from the fire extinguisher displaced the air. Angus suffocated, painlessly and quietly. By morning, the fumes had dissipated.
Yes, but the fire extinguisher was still there when I got onto the scene. That was very sloppy, Ashley.
Well, my clever husband was supposed to remove that before you appeared, but the fool overslept.
No matter, my dear. Mr. Larson will finish our work for us. Move to the door, Kane.
Hey, what is this?
Listen, Chester, he's coming.
Move quickly, Kane.
Down, ladder, man. When I flush him out, shoot. Shoot to kill!
This is cold-blooded murder, Ashley.
Outside, Kane.
Don't bother to run to your cabin. I've locked it outside. Kane, out.
Mr. Kane. Kane, open the door.
I can't. There's no key in it. we got you, Ashley. Come on out, Duchess. Join us, won't you? Now, we'll unlock your niece's door. I want her to send a message to the Coast Guard. I'm very sorry to disturb her, but unfortunately, the acting captain is temporarily decommissioned.
Well, I'll be a bow-legged horn-toad. Isn't that something?
Yeah, a very simple murder, Gimme Cap. These extinguishers are filled with carbon dioxide. It's odorless, non-poisonous, and heavier than air.
If that stuff is non-poisonous, how come old man Redfield died?
Well, the gas settled in the closet. Displaced the air. No air, no oxygen. So old man Redfield was snuffed out just like that candle. Good night, Mr. Redfield.
And good night, Sergeant Gray. And good night, dear boy. I'll return your camera
Well, thank
soon.
you very much. I hope you do.
And thank you, folks. Don't forget, next week, same time, same place, huh? Will you see you?
Martin Kane, Private Eye, has been brought to you by the makers of Old Fire, the master mixture of rare flavor and aroma. Dill's Best, flavor cut for extra mildness and cool smoking. Sano Cigarettes, a great cigarette with less than 1% nicotine. And Encore, the better tasting cigarette with a filter mouthpiece for filter fresh smoking. All members of a complete line of products for every tobacco taste. Tune in the other exciting series of Martin Kane, Private Eye, starring Lloyd Nolan, on radio every Sunday afternoon over the NBC radio network. Now, a few seconds, friends, to remind you, your annual federal and state cigarette taxes provide almost 10 times as much as it costs to operate the United States Coast Guard. So remember, in buying cigarettes, over half your packs go for tax. Portions of this program have been mechanically reproduced.